Hey guys, happy Friday. I just want to give an analogy here. Um, I don't know about you, but flies are really bad lately. Um, and there is no fly flying around here. It was just kind of to show you that as I was swatting the fly, I kind of was pausing and I really wasn't thinking. I was distracted. The fly distracted me. And so this message is about, are you standing around swatting flies? So last night I had a great, it was a lesson. The Lord's really been dealing with me about brokenness, about healing your heart. How do you heal your heart? And He has taken me and walked me through steps that has helped me to heal my heart. And so there is steps. But last night, my face got so red. I had this whole crew of women there, and there were gnats. So someone didn't take out the trash, and so there was gnats. And as I was talking, I was seeing all these people like swatting these gnats, and I myself was swatting the gnats. So I was getting red faced, and I was really getting upset because one, it was distracting me. Two, it was distracting others. So I know when there's things going around, like you might hear a dog barking in the background because they want out and I'm not letting them out. And so their barking is distracting me as well. So what in our lives is keeping us from being focused on the goal that God has for your life? We go to work. If you work. If you don't work, you have a routine. If you don't have a routine, you need to get one because routines are good for a healthy life, to be feeling like you're contributing, and that your life has purpose and that it matters. But if you have a job and you get up, go to work, you do this, you do that, and you have goals for the day, your assignments. I make lists, but yet those goals, that I set for myself for the day, they sometimes get reached and sometimes they don't, for various reasons. Sometimes God interrupts my plans and changes them. But sometimes it's just the distractions in my life that change the plans. Like I might be triggered about something and then start thinking in my mind, and it will get me off course of where my focus should be and what I should be doing. And instead I'm reflecting and maybe getting a little depressed about that. And so I just tripped myself up. And so I got distracted. And so, in life, we're going to get distracted, but we have to pay close attention to where the distractions come from. What do we do when we know we are getting distracted? Like to be aware, so that, if you're aware, you can stop it and you can channel your focus somewhere else. So it's very important to be aware of your distractions. And so, last night I was very aware that those gnats were distracting me, but there was no way that my distractions were going to outweigh the purpose and the calling that God had for me for that night. So I was anointed and appointed for that. And there was no way that big picture, that big purpose that I knew, because that day, I'm telling you, yesterday, everything went wrong. It seems like, my brother had to go to the hospital. My mom had to go to the doctor. She needed new tires. My friend was sick. She couldn't come. She's our prayer warrior. It's just like, and then I go there and I have these gnats And then I thought I bought pre-mixed mortar and it wasn't, so I had to mix it. And so it was just like one thing after another. And I just knew that God was going to do great and mighty things last night because of how the enemy was trying to stop it from happening. And I'm telling you, just it was one hit after another. But I stayed consistent and I said, no, nothing is going to stop this. It has to take place because, when you know that your calling is greater than the adversity that you're experiencing, it makes the adversity easier. So you can kick back, you can sit back and you can say, God's going to do a mighty thing here because, the enemy's trying to stop it. And, I'm not going to do that. So when you learn to know the schemes of the enemy, how he operates, and you put on your full armor, and you do not let anything stand in the way of the vision that God has given you, then you persevered and you passed the test, and your calling and your name and everything you do, guys, has so many people attached to it. Last night, so I've had several women reach out to me just praising the Lord and thanking me for my faithfulness in following and becoming obedient to what the Lord had shown me. And, I could have said, I can't do this tonight. Let's postpone this. Because there was a lot on me. Excuse me. But I didn't. I just knew I couldn't. Because I was aware. And when you're aware, it helps you to persevere. Even with greater tenacity and force, you're like, no way, I am not going to let anything stop me. And that's kind of how I was last night. But I really did get off my game when I was, swatting the gnats, and they were all swatting the gnats, and we're trying to eat wonderful, delicious food, and we have these gnats. So guys, I just want you to reflect right now in your life, and every time you go to swat a fly or swat a gnat, I want to plant a seed. I want you to say, okay, God, what is distracting my life from being what you destined me to do? What in my life is creating, and now I've got the cat meowing that wants out. So, I've got all of these distractions while I'm sitting on here trying to tell you, don't become distracted. So I'm determined to finish this message because I know it's vitally important that we take and reflect on our lives and say, what have we put in our lives, or what do we need to take away from our lives that will help us get focused on the goal, on the purpose, on the mission that God has assigned me to. And maybe you don't know that mission or that assignment. And I just pray that you do find it. When you find your purpose and you know your mission, you walk different, you talk different, you act different, you are unfazed. And that's another video, is unfazed. And exactly what all does that mean? So I want you to reflect today. Get with the Lord, get some quiet time. It's called solitude. Jesus did it often. And we're to become more like him and to take on his lifestyle. And so one of his characteristics was that he got alone often, and he got with the Father and talked and recharged and got the vision of what he was supposed to do. And so I want you to spend some quiet time today, preferably every day, preferably, because if you make it every day, guys, you will make a pattern and a routine, and it'll become a habit. And getting with God is the best habit that you can get. And making that intentional time. You're not too busy. And if you're too busy to spend some time with God, then I feel sorry for you. Like, you really have got to stop that. God is the giver of everything, but he can also take it away. So that's not to scare you. That's simply truth. It's truth. You have to come to a time in your life that you say, God, all of this is yours. And at any given minute, you can take it away from me. So in gratitude, I thank you for it. And I'm going to praise you for it. And I'm going to spend some intentional time with you because I'm so grateful and thankful. And I know you love me so much. And I want to give that back to you. I want to praise and worship you. And you know, when you make that an everyday intentional decision, and it's a choice. Your life and how you live it is your choice. If you're stuck, you're choosing to stay stuck. It's in your mindset. You say, oh, no, I've got to do this. Oh, no, you don't. Guys, you really don't. I know sometimes there's a means to an end, like you can't just quit your job because you don't like it. You have to pay the bills. But, you know, we have so many choices that we don't think that we have. And when you recognize that you do have the power, and I have a video where it says the ruby red slippers or something like that, that you wear. And when you know that you have choices and alternatives, and, you know, with every choice comes good and bad. And so, but it's a matter of you making it and not being afraid. You know, you might want to ask yourself, what are you afraid of? You know, if you're stuck, you're not liking your life and you're not living it to your full potential of God, who God created you to be. Why? It's powerful to know why. And you need to get to the root of that. And so, yeah, today I hope you reflect. What's distracting you? What's distracting you from spending time with your kids? What's distracting you from being your best person at work? What's distracting you from spending time with God? What's distracting you from being, you know, the best sister or brother or daughter? Or, you know, we all have things that we desire, and we don't reach those desires sometimes because of us. I mean, sometimes our desires aren't good for us and we're not supposed to have them, but sometimes our desires are brought on about ourselves. You know, like we don't have it because we're sabotaging ourselves and we don't even realize it. I'm going down a rabbit hole. I'm chasing the rabbit. Yeah. So let's just get back to the focus of what are you distracted? Figure it out. Okay? Have a good Friday. Thanks.